So you guys, just so you know, we have Bub. Bub streams on Frag House. All right, you can find his link directly on Frag House. If you go to www.fraghouse.com, that's with a 4, not an A.
Yep.
You can actually find him there. He's in the barracks, and he is a featured streamer for the month of July. So even though July hasn't came out yet, we all know that it's next week. We actually have him already preset for the entire month of July. So that is some awesome stuff, Bub.
Truth.
Really glad to see that. You've got a couple of things that are coming up in the future, so why don't you just go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Well, I guess you said everything so far. I'm a streamer. I have tackled Twitch for right around 8 or 9 months now. Went on some downtime for a while because of various issues from internet to computer issues, but I've been streaming. I had a really great core audience. I had to take some time off, lost that audience, and now I'm coming back with a bang. I'm jumping into a lot of things like WoW. I've never played WoW before. This is my first time really doing that. So I'm doing everything that I can to not be terrible, but it's something that I've recognized as a gamer. I'm really, really bad. I'm not good at games. Usually I get through things just out of sheer willpower alone. That's really what it boils down to. I mean, you can ask a guy that's in here right now. It's Faylord. He's a moderator in my stream. I would have never even had the opportunity or the willingness to stream had it not been for him. He introduced me to Twitch, and he showed me how to play a roguelike game called Rogue Legacy. And I was like, hey, this is really freaking cool. How can I get into this? It's like, well, you just gotta jump in and download OBS and do this and blah, 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 blah. And before you know it, the Beard stream was real. And here I am, 8 or 9 months later, with the help and courtesy of my viewers. I've got a brand new rig, which I'm trying to establish a secondary rig so I can stream at maximum capacity and get all of the beautiful awesomeness available for everyone to view. I've got a podcast that's happened since then, and things have been rolling through that. We just went to our first large convention. We went to Indie PopCon. That's actually where I met Frag, for everyone that's listening. And
PopCon.
Yep, PopCon. And we had a blast. Like the opportunities that we had to present themselves were real, and we've never been so happy to actually get out and meet so many people. People were very, very, very responsive to everything that we were doing, and a lot of people kind of view they view podcasts as it's kind of like Wild West of media, because everybody's really, really into video. Everybody really likes watching videos. And like, well, people talking, that's dumb shit. Why do I want to watch a bunch of people, or why do I want to listen to a bunch of people talk when I could just go watch a 3 or 4 minute video? Well, it's kind of like this. Everybody's got friends. I don't care if you say that you don't. You actually do.
I don't have friends.
See, lies and slander right there. Everybody's got friends, and you sit down with these friends, sometimes after a few beers, sometimes after way, way too much lack of sleep, and you start talking, and your conversations start waving into these really, really weird places. Well, that's kind of where we came about. We started talking, and people were like, hey, we should really record this shit, because why not? And we did. And we posted up online, and you'd be surprised at the amount of people that are like, hey, you guys are actually really funny. On top of being really funny, you guys, you're doing something more for the community. You're actually showing people that everyone can have a pedestal. Everybody can have a platform to voice their opinion, because that is one thing that matters to most people. You've got to get laid. I hate to say it, but you got to get laid. You got to eat, and you've got to have your voice a real thing. You have to have a platform in order to talk. So
True.
We feel like we're giving that to people out there in the community. We want to go out and we meet these individuals, and we want to know their opinions. We want to know what they think about this game, how they feel about this particular trend that's happening right now. And we do the things that are super, super, super awesome, and stuff that we love doing already. Like, I love talking, hence why I'm here now. But I love playing video games, and I figured, why not stream it? I love recording myself talking about random shit. So I started recording myself, and now I want to help people, and this is what actually brought me about here. I want to be able to help kids, more importantly, because the big thing for me is while with me streaming with my podcast, I'm not selling anything, guys. I'm not making any money. I am probably the brokest guy you'll ever meet, but I'm incredibly wealthy in patience and friends. And that means more to me than any dollar sign. But what's incredibly important to me is the fact that I've been given the opportunity to do this because of my viewers. And I want to give everybody else an opportunity to be somebody's hero. Phaelord, my moderator, which is in here right now, capping away, and various other people have given me such an opportunity to come out and just share my voice. So I want to make sure that the next generation of creators, of readers, of kids don't suck. And those who don't suck have an opportunity to live. Hence why I'm doing this charity. I'm doing Extra Life because there are kids out there that need livers, that need eyes, that need various body parts that they can't afford because they're less fortunate. Hence why I'm doing this charity. I told myself I'm going to do everything in my power to reach out to as many people as I can and let them know, hey, I'm going to stream for 24 hours because that's how much Extra Life will allow me to do without yelling at me. Because they say 24 hours or longer isn't conducive to health, and it sends a not so positive message about what we're trying to do for this particular company.
I understand that, yeah.
So I'm going to stream for 24 hours, the cusp before I can start getting yelled at, and do everything in my power to raise $1,000 to make sure some kid gets his kneecaps, or make sure some kid gets a muscle replacement, or something like that. Just anything that he needs in order to do what he needs to do, because the next generation is exactly what it's about. It's everything that it's about. Because right now, I mean, I'm 27, 28 years old, and the most important thing to me right now is my wife. And I wouldn't sell that down the river for the world. There's no amount of money. And I want to make sure somebody else meets that lady, or they meet that streamer, or I can affect them. I want to be someone's hero, Frag. That's what...
You're my hero.
Really? I'm your hero?
You're my hero.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
My hero, baby.
Oh, this is going in a totally homo way.
But no. Getting back to you've been doing the podcast for a little bit now.
Yes.
It's my understanding that you guys pulled together and actually set up a Kickstarter campaign to help you guys out with that. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, we did. We were in contact with a couple of the local guys that knew the PopCon owners personally. They said, hey, you should reach out to Smitty, which is one of the owners, and see if you guys can get into this convention. Like, well, we're broke. We don't have the money for this kind of thing. We can't swing this. There's no way. So we thought, why not try a Kickstarter? This could be a really good idea. This could be a really awesome thing to do. Let's try it. So we went out on a mission to raise $650. It's a very large amount considering we have nothing to deliver, to give to the world. So we set out, we did this video, it was about 4.5 minutes long, and we told people that we are a local gaming podcast and we need monies to get us to PopCon. We need $650 to cover some of our cost of tickets, our booth, our electricity, various things like that. And we were trying to swing half the cost on some t-shirts so we could go out and just spread the word, do some marketing of our own.
These t-shirts right here.
Yes, exactly, what you're wearing yourself. I should be wearing mine, but I didn't think about it. Anyway, we set out for this goal, $650. We set it for starting, I think it was January 1st, to run for 45 days. And we didn't really anticipate reaching $650. We thought that was going to be a far-stretch goal. What we didn't realize was going to happen, that we were going to break our goal and reach almost $3,000. There was such a community outreach that it kind of blew us away. And it kind of, it hit home because that means that there are that many people out there that believe in our cause, that believe in what we're doing, that they loaded up money in the money cannon and they fired that bitch off, man. And they were just ready for a lot of awesome times to happen. So we've done everything in our power to just bruise PopCon, make sure that it remembers us forever. And we've gone out and we've went to stores, we've gone to foundations and all these different places trying to get people to realize. I mean, I know you guys can't really tell, but I'm almost 6'4" and I'm like 420 pounds. I am all that is man. They actually call me the Bubbernot in real life. They said, you are such a force of person and personality that you're like the Juggernaut, but your nickname is Bub, so we're going to call you the Bubbernot. And that happened. And that's actually how my stream name came about.
Well,
So
that covers that question that I was going to ask
yeah,
you.
I
But
am
hey,
the Bub or Not. I've been called Bub since before I was even capable of walking. I was gumming down on bottles, and I was Bub then. So it's just kind of stuck with me.
so you do a stream, you do a podcast, you do all these different things. You're looking to reach out for charity, which really works well for what we're trying to do with Frag House. We're trying to get people in touch and in contact with these different streams, these different YouTubers. We're trying to find charities. You are actually going to be our featured charity of the month for July. We're going to take and put everything we've got behind you to try to get your cause met and throw people your way for that. With all this being said, what was the most? I have to know. Like you've done all these different interviews and everything, especially at like PopCon. I got to watch you. I even sat down and did a podcast with you, which was amazing. My first one. Popped my podcast cherry. It was
a lot of fun.
Amazing. You, Elspeth, Moxie. It was the most fun that I've actually had without a camera in front of me. But I just got to ask, what was the most interesting one that you did while you were there?
Oh man. While we had the opportunity to meet a lot of people, there were two that stick out in mind. Aside from the one that I shared with you and Elspeth, two of them stuck out in mind. Was the immediate one that we did. We sat on the Sam Ash soundstage, and we had an opportunity to do an interview with Christian Nairn, which is Hodor from Game of Thrones. And you guys, you think I'm a big person. You think I'm a big person, almost 6'4" and 420 pounds. This man, holy balls, Batman. This man I was a shadow compared to this man. I was small scale. Hodor is the real deal. That man's head is he's huge, but he's such an awesome dude. Really laid back. Super happy to sit down and cast with us. We actually do a segment called D20 Debut. We are a role-playing podcast first and foremost. Hence the crit confirm. But we do a role-playing podcast, and we do the segment called D20 Debut, where we take characters from the silver screen comic books and video games, and we turn them into playable characters for your immediate tabletop role-play games. And people have been really, really responsive to that, which is fun. And we sat down with Hodor, Christian Nairn, and we created his character from Game of Thrones, Hodor, with him. And people just ate that up. We were actually the only podcast that was there at PopCon to get a standing ovation. We had an audience starting of one person who's a local that loves us for whatever reason. He thinks we're awesome. But by the end of it, we had 55 people standing right next to the stage, and as we finished, we had a standing ovation, and nobody else did, which that's huge. It's such a great feeling to be applauded for something that's not terrible on the internet, like Two Girls, One Cup, that kind of thing. I know, right? Aside from that, the other one that stuck out in my mind, I would have to say, we called it the Row 800s cast, which is where I sat down with 3 other podcasts, and we spitballed back and forth everything that was going on. I honestly think they were trying to get a feel for us because we were kind of the big dogs of the alley, considering nobody else really brought as much show as we did.
Yeah, your booth was insane.
It was just busy. We were afraid that people were just going to walk by us, so we bought 2 booths, and we bought banners and stands and everything like that. But that goes without saying. They sat down and they just wanted to get a feel for us if we were as big as our britches were there, and I think they were surprised because I can talk for days. Mm-hmm.
All right, so the focus of Twitch, as we all know, is video gaming, and we can't do much on Twitch while we're here without doing something about video gaming. So why don't you go ahead and tell me about your best video game memory, if you have one. And it can be gaming in general. It could be your best role-playing, rolling dice. It could be anything dealing with gaming. But tell me your fondest memory that you have from a gaming experience.
Let's see. Probably have to say streaming so far. My experiences with streaming have been, while it's been exasperating and very trying on my patience, it's been a lot of fun at the same time. I've got to meet some of the greatest people in my life. Most of my followers at this point while my core audience is kind of missing and I'm rebuilding at this point, the ones who have stuck through with me since the beginning are some of the best people I've ever met. And I'm sure that's the same with you. I'm sure you've met some people that will always leave some kind of a stain on your memory, whether it be positive or negative. But my best memories, there's two particular times when I was talked into playing Dark Souls for the first time. Now, I don't know if you've played Dark Souls, but it is so painstakingly evil that
you have to be a sadomasochist to play it.
You literally, like, it literally made me want to pull out all of my pubic hair. It was incredibly painful all the way through, and people ate it up. My largest stream at this point came from it came from that game. Dark Souls brought me my largest audience. In 1 week's time, I gained 130 followers. Now, that doesn't seem like much compared to you. You're closing in on 5,000. I have almost 500 viewers, or excuse me, 500 followers. And when I've reached in a week's time, a quarter to 30% of that, those are huge numbers, and they just, oh my balls, they wanted to watch me flail and scream and throw my keyboard around like it was my job, and they ate it up. They dug the shit out of that. My other favorite time was probably most notably, it was when I actually did a 2-day stream of World of Warcraft. Somebody let me borrow their account, and our goal was to roleplay through World of Warcraft as if we were the character and class that we had chosen. So I chose a Dwarven Hunter, and it was incredible. It was so much fun. We were actually rated by Fat Boss TV. I'm not sure if you've heard of them or not, but they're partnered with Twitch, and they consistently draw between 1,000 and 5,000 viewers at any given time. And they went out on a limb, and they they rated my stream, and we went from like 17 viewers to 195 in seconds, and
Wow.
my mind blew. And they were like, "Oh my god, this is amazing! Just keep role playing." Because I was given this kind of like Gimli from Lord of the Rings Scottish accent for my dwarf, and people were just they were so happy. Plus, I like my cats, and my cats are around all the time. It's just, yeah, it's a thing.
Excellent. So you're doing all these things. You've told us about the fun times that you've had while you've been on Twitch.
Yep.
All this stuff. What do you see in your future? What is like when you make it? When will you consider it being when you make it?
When I make it, by make it you mean I've reached some manner of success in my mind?
However you judge success. Some people judge it monetarily. Some people judge it like I do with the type of people that I impact, that I have fun with, that I'm around. Some people judge it by being able to do a particular thing or gain a particular goal. Some people I've heard say that they're going to get success when they get partnered. That's what they choose as their success. What will it be that finally allows you to say, I've done it. I'm there. This is where I want to be.
Well, I would have to say that a lot of what I would view as success at this point would come down to, for me, I would have to say it would be successfully, I want to say partnership, first and foremost. That's incredibly important to me because right now, at my situation, I'm sitting kind of at the bottom of the totem pole with a lot of my streams because I lost my core audience. Now, that's not really a problem because I just enjoy streaming in general, whether there's anybody there or a billion people there. But I can't pay my bills. I can't pay any of my bills. So in a perfect world, I would become partnered, and this would become like a full-time job. Now, that goes without saying. I'm sure everybody wants partnered. I'm sure everybody wants to make some kind of a money. But I don't know, man. It's hard to say. Everybody's like, why don't you just go out and get a job? Well, why don't I just load up myself into the jobby cannon and fire off into job world where jobbies grow on jobs? You know, I don't know. I guess I'm sitting at a point where going out and getting a job isn't conducive to building my podcast community and the streaming community. And I'm in a situation where my wife actually allows me to do this. Until I find a job that's worth going about and leaving all of this behind, leaving my impact on my audience, that's not really something that I want to do. But that's neither here nor there. Sorry to go off on that tangent.
You're fine.
Matter of success for me would be becoming partnered, drawing just enough to get by. I'm not a stingy person. I would just love to get by on my bills. I don't want to live in a mansion. I just want to come and stream and make an impact on people's lives. Another matter of success would be to meet. I want Will Wheaton and Felicia Day to recognize my name without having to look me up. Like, what's a bub or not? I won't be. Oh yeah, I talked to Bub yesterday. That's the thing. I know Bub.
Felicia Day.
Because I'm such a fan of role playing. Between myself, my wife, and my two partners for this podcast, we have right around 34 years of role playing competitively, and we do this not only as a hobby, but it's something that we take very seriously because I thoroughly believe, and you can quote me on this, role-playing is the most fun you can have without taking off your pants. And even sometimes, it's even funner when you take off your pants. But that's that. But yeah, I want to be able to inevitably open up. I've talked about opening up my own store, running gaming events in a safe place for kids because I got bullied a lot in high school and in grade school, and I want to be able to have a place that's safe for kids, kind of like a YMCA, but targeted toward the geekier and the nerdier audience. That's something that I think would be incredibly awesome. But there's different levels and measures of success for everybody. But that's that. I don't know what success would be to you, but I'm working so many different angles right now and finding out what I'm capable of. I've never really pushed the limits of my creativity. And people actually call me the think tank a lot, the idea factory. So I want to keep spinning up these ideas, and if one blows up, I want it to propel the others to an equal level, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense. Well, we kind of keep the interviews a little bit short, so okay. I want to thank you for everything that you've shared with us.
Hey,
but I do want to give you one last opportunity to go ahead and just plug whatever you want to plug right now. I know you have the charity, the podcast, your Twitch channel. I'm going to put all the links to all that stuff in the video down below once this gets over to YouTube. So just go ahead and give us a quick plug about everything that you're a part of real quick once more.
Hey, not a problem, man. I'm Bub or not, the Bub, whatever you want to call me. It could be Jackass. It doesn't even matter. But I run a local nerdy podcast here in Indianapolis, which is right around near Frag. Met Frag at PopCon. He sat down with us, had a great time. He got a good feel for what we do. We want to give a pedestal to everyone who wants to talk, everyone who has a voice. And if you feel that you fit into the demographic of nerdy or geeky whatsoever, then we might just be up your alley, especially if you like role-playing. So you can check us out on www.critconfirm.com. That's crit, as in C-R-I-T, confirm, C-O-N-F-I-R-M.com. And I'm a Twitch streamer, which is something that I do leisurely at this moment, but I'm trying to do this a bit more seriously. It's twitch.tv/Bubbernaut, BUBBERNAUT_CCE, which stands for Crit Confirm Entertainment. I don't have a schedule yet, but I pretty much hop on whenever there's free time and whenever my wife doesn't exactly have something for me to do. If you have any questions or comments at all, as long as they're positive, I see some nonsense popping around over there in that stream chat. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm a pretty amiable fella. Yeah, that's really all I've got to say.
All right, excellent. Well, thank you for being here. Like I said before, you guys can check him out over at the Frag House website. You can check him out coming into stream here. Go to his channel. Make sure that you follow. I'll have a link for that down below. Make sure that you go over to the website and actually sign up. On the forums, you can get in contact with everybody. Go visit his website for his podcast. Everything. And make sure that you go ahead and just be here. You get to meet all sorts of people like Bub. I have several other interviews that we're going to be doing in the future. As I said earlier, Bub's the stream and his charity are both featured for our website for this month. So you'll be hearing me talk a lot about them in the upcoming future. Again, Bub, thank you very much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time out to answer these questions for me. And we'll see you around definitely, man. And I can't wait for that role-playing game.
Not a problem, man. Hey, if you give me just a second, I noticed on stream when you removed your hat that you actually lack a lot of hair. And I don't want people to think that I'm bald. I've got quite a bit of dew going on under here. So if you give me just a second, I wanted to show you guys something. I'll be right back.
That's a lot of hair.
I know, right? That's quite a bit of hair. See, I've got a lot. But that's that. I wanted to jump in and show you guys that. So thanks again, man. I'll be tuning in the rest of the night. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Take it easy, bub.